folks. On behalf of Astromatrix, my name is Marcelle and I'm here today to talk to you about the Mercury retrograde that's happening in Gemini this month on the 29th all the way through till the 22nd of June. Before I dive into this, please can I ask, if you do enjoy our content, to like and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to ring the notification bell. Great, so let's dive into it. So a retrograde motion happens when a planet slows down, it stations retrograde, and then it moves backwards. And there's normally a shadow period before and after this, which means that the actual impact of the retrograde is generally much longer. So this Mercury will be in Gemini in its rulership. So it's very strong in Gemini. It's where it belongs in Gemini. And it has moved into Gemini already on the 3rd of May. And it'll stay in Gemini until the 11th of July. So from about 2 weeks before until 2 weeks after the retrograde period, which is from the 29th of May until the 22nd of June, so about 3 weeks, there is the shadow period for about 2 weeks before and after that. So as it slowly starts moving towards stationing retrograde, we do feel things slowing down. You may even mentally feel like things are slowing down for you. And of course, once it hits the retrograde motion, it's now a period of review and to re-examine all the aspects that relate to Mercury in Gemini. So let's unpack that. What does that mean? Mercury is the planet of communication. It has to do with our mind, our logic, our reasoning, our functioning. It's how it is that we express ourselves in the world, how it is that we perceive our realities, and how it is that we communicate with others. It also has to do with anxiety, and when it is in Gemini in its rulership, it means that it just functions at its optimum. So Gemini is very quick, curious, intellectual. It's an air sign. It's very much about information. There's a lightness to Gemini as well. It's almost like Gemini likes to skim on the surface and have many fingers and many pies. There's a lot of energy to Gemini. And Geminis are very good at jumping from one thing to the next, or at least the quality of Gemini. So with Mercury in Gemini, communication speeds up. We are able to have a lot of different types of conversations with a lot more energy, intellectual energy, mental presence for all of these different conversations. We might be more interactive and engaging. You know, it always depends on where Mercury falls, in which house it falls in your chart. Also what house is ruled by Gemini in your chart. And this is the area where you will be experiencing this retrograde. So what you can do is you can go onto the Astromatrix app and click under Natal Chart and see which house is ruled by Gemini. So you can get a sense of what Gemini is if you go to under lessons, under studies, and you can click on that and see which glyph is Gemini, and that's the house that you're looking for to get a sense of what's going to be impacted, because there's actually quite a lot of intensity happening during this Mercury retrograde. So when Mercury stations retrograde and it starts going backwards, everything slows down, and this is when we experience stresses and tensions around communication breakdowns, especially with technology, but sometimes also delays in things moving forward. So if you imagine communication, it's the expression of something moving forward. So when it's going retrograde, that is kind of taken away. So it's a really, really important time to really reflect on your mind, how it is that you think about things. And this pertains to the house area that you're in. So for instance, you know, if Gemini rules your 7th house and Mercury's moving fully through the 7th house, then it means that relationships are coming up under review. How it is that you communicate in relationships, how it is that you perceive them, think about them, engage them, interact with them. You know, if it's in Gemini, it means that you're a Sagittarius rising. Potentially, it means that that with a Sagittarius rising, you are always looking at the bigger picture as opposed to the details with Gemini. So having Gemini in your 7th house means that there's something that the Gemini quality has to show you, which it does for all of us. Now, during this period, we do have Gemini. As we move into retrograde, as Mercury and Gemini stations retrograde, around about that time, and actually a week before that, Neptune starts coming into a square with this Mercury in Gemini. And on the day of the 29th, when Mercury stations retrograde, Mercury is also in a conjunction with Venus. So both Venus and Mercury are in a conjunction, in a square to Neptune. So Venus and Mercury in a conjunction, it's just beautiful communication, beautiful expression, speaking beautiful things. Venus very much has to do with beauty. It's ruled by Libra, also an air sign. So beautiful intellectual ideas and thoughts and expression. And so having this come into a square with Neptune, it's very useful to understand where it is that we may be deceiving ourselves or others through communication. And Neptune is a very spiritual planet, but it can also, on the lower end of the spectrum, if the work has not been done, relate to fogginess, deception, lack of clarity, confusion. And this can mean that you are deceiving yourself, you are deceiving others, or others are deceiving you within the arena of how it is that your mind functions, or how it is that you communicate, especially with regards to beauty or aesthetics, or possibly even finances, because Venus also rules finances. So this is one aspect that's happening, which can be quite intense, and it is actually, it's moving with Mercury retrograde. So as Mercury moves backwards, it moves out and then comes back in. So it'll be hitting that Neptune again near the end of the Mercury retrograde, and it's just a opportunity to have a relook at what was previously, how it is that we previously engaged or responded or dealt with. Looking at the house that Mercury lies in will give you a sense of how that Mercury is impacting you in response to Neptune. So if it's in the first house, are you misleading yourself or others about yourself? Are you not showing who it is that you really are? Is there a part of you that's holding back for the sake of, keeping things nice and pleasant, as opposed to really meeting the truth? And so what exacerbates this retrograde that's happening is the fact that it's coming into an inconjunct with Pluto and a sesquadrate with Saturn. So these are both aspects of tension. They're not speaking the same language, and of course both Pluto and Saturn will be retrograde as well. So Saturn goes retrograde on the 23rd, and Pluto's already gone retrograde. So this is a really deep period of really examining our minds, and I feel that because it's next to Venus, it has a lot to do with how it is that we think, express ourselves, communicate, but also perceive our realities. So the Neptune, the Pluto, and the Saturn give some kind of clue, and there's work that's needing to be done with regards to the Mercury. There's a need to go inwards and really reflect on how it is that you present yourself to the world. How it is that, are you fully in alignment and in integrity with your head and your heart? Venus is also the heart, Mercury is the head. And if there isn't that alignment, then we can be speaking what we think people want us to say, or what we think people want to hear, but it's not truly coming from an integrated place within the heart. So I feel like a lot of this has to do with integration, and to look into the chart again and get a sense of where Pluto and Saturn lies retrograde will give a deeper sense, will give more information to the story of what it is that you're unpacking. And this is the beauty about astrology. It gives us these forewarnings and the tools to generate awareness around what is playing out, so that we can meet it and shift it and transform these lessons that the cosmos brings to us on a daily basis as a means of raising consciousness within this planet. So Mercury is very much, it's very much connected to you. It's very much connected to your mind. And so this is your journey inwards, examining all the functionality around your mind and how it is that you express and communicate yourself, and whether, as I mentioned, it is in alignment with the truth of who you are. So this will be playing out until the 22nd of June, where it then stations direct, and it goes through the shadow period for another 2 weeks after that. Generally, this is the more intense period, the shadow period. And then once it comes out of that, it moves out of Gemini on the 11th of July. So what does help us during this period is the fact that we have Jupiter. Jupiter's just moved into Pisces. Well, it will be moving into Pisces. It hasn't quite gone into Pisces yet. And Pisces is actually the ruler or ruled by Neptune. So there's a strong connection with Neptune there. And what it's wanting with Jupiter in Pisces is awareness around compassion and sensitivity. So perhaps strengthening how it is that we communicate with others, with ourselves. Can we do it from a more compassionate standpoint with greater sensitivity? Can we pause and reflect on what it is that we communicate with others, how it is that we communicate with others, so that what comes out of our mouths comes with a level of understanding and compassion. The Saturn retrograde in Aquarius is in order to navigate that, objectivity is very, very important. Simply because there's potential for a lot of heated energy to be rising to the surface. If you are interested in understanding more about what the Saturn retrograde is about, you can find one of our videos on the app or on YouTube, and it'll give more information, because it's really useful to watch the Pluto retrograde video, watch the Saturn retrograde video, and watch this one in order to get a sense of all these energies that are brewing up and what is the story showing you about your life. So objectivity is really important, but also the ability to pause and reflect on how it is that we communicate. Can we do it with more compassion and sensitivity, especially towards ourselves? Can we give ourselves a break? Can we give others a break? So I hope that shed some light on your situation. And again, if you enjoyed our content, please like and subscribe to our channel, and thank you so much for your time. We also love to hear your comments, so please do share with us how you feel, what's coming up for you, and possibly what house this Mercury retrograde may be playing out for you. Thanks for your time. Bye for now.